Hi, thanks for stopping by my shop. I recently did a video on this extension for the side of my table saw. One of my viewers, Scott Kershaw, noticed the extension for the back of the saw and had some questions about it, so I thought I'd show that to you today. My saw is a rigid TS2424 contractor style saw. I bought it new about 15 years ago. One of the first things I made for it was this outfeed extension. I seem to remember getting the idea at the Woodworking show in Atlanta and buying the T-tracks and knobs there. The construction of the top itself is pretty simple. It's 2 layers of 3/4 inch plywood. I did add a 1/4 inch band ripped from a 2x4 around it on 3 sides to dress it up a little. As you can see, it has some battle scars on it. It's been used for sawing and painting and sanding and hammering and other abuse over the years. The extension is mounted 2.5 inches from the top of the saw. This clearance is needed for the standard rip fence, which clamps onto the aluminum rail mounted on the back of the saw. A notch was cut into the extension to clear the blade guard, which tilts with the blade. 2 dados were also cut in line with the miter slots in the tabletop. The overall dimensions of the extension are 48 by 16 inches. The brackets and PVC pipe you see under here are part of the side extension, so please ignore these. In addition to the cutout for the blade guard, a notch must also be cut in the bottom piece of plywood to allow clearance for the motor mounting bracket, which swivels up when the blade is tilted. In this shot, you can see the end of the 2x4 used for the left support arm. It's mounted to the left side of the saw with a T-track. The T-track is just screwed into the side of the saw. Be sure your drill and screws will have sufficient clearance inside the cabinet. Here you can see the left support arm and the 2 knobs that attach it to the T-track. The right support arm is a little more complicated. The tilt wheel severely limits the length of the arm. The T-track is mounted at about the same height as the left side. However, another piece is also mounted lower on the right side. A rectangular piece of 3/4 inch plywood is mounted to the T-tracks. 2 bolts and knobs are used at the top, but only one is necessary on the bottom. Here I'm pointing to the ends of 2 pieces of 2x4 that are screwed to the plywood rectangle. The right support arm is a piece of 2x8. It's screwed to the 2x4 spacers. In this view from the back of the saw, you can see the end of the 2x8 right support arm. I've tilted the blade and motor to 45 degrees. It's hard to see, but I'm pointing to the 2 2x4s that are used to space the right support arm away from the tilted motor. Another thing you may have noticed is the shelf I have here, nothing but 3/4 inch plywood. It is mounted between the saw and the stand. I think all that was required was some longer 1/4 inch bolts, if I remember correctly on that. It's been a long time ago. It's pretty handy. It's usually piled high with feather boards and special push sticks and various and sundry things, but I kind of cleared it off so you'll be able to see underneath there today. Probably going to throw some stuff away from there. Looking back at the build now, I'm not really sure that the T-track is necessary. It might be simpler just to bolt the 2x4 directly to the inside, to the side of the saw with 1/4 inch bolts. And the same thing on the right side. It could probably be done without the T-tracks. You don't really adjust them once you get them in place. There's no movement for them. I don't know that I had that one off one time to try to do something or another. But I don't really move them around. The thing to do if you're building it is to mount the arms on both sides. Be sure you got your clearance, and then mount the tabletop on it, the extension table on it. If necessary, you can shim the mount here on either side to get it level or to get it at the right height you want it. Mine is actually slightly lower, about 1/8 of an inch lower than the tabletop. That's about it. Pretty simple. Very useful addition to your table saw. If you found this video helpful, I hope you'll like it and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And my thanks to Scott Kershaw for suggesting this video. I hope it helps you out, Scott. Y'all have a great day.